CMMI Services. Having said that, what does CMMI Services basically deliver? It strengthens our service delivery and service management practice. Basically, it is a process improvement framework or a model. So it provides for, as I said, continuous service improvement. It enables rapid fine-tuning of the existing service performance and quality, and it can be the basis for regional and global strategies as all work becomes service. So CMMI says that every work is a service, and you need to plan, and you need to provide, and you need to continuously measure it. Okay, again, it's a whole lot of process areas with respect to CMMI. Now I'll quickly talk about an integrated approach of ITIL and CMMI services. What process maps with what, how the integration needs to be done, and what an organization need to do to adapt both ITIL and CMMI for services. The picture on the left-hand side is funny, and this is seldom what happens to us. We try to manage and map two processes of frameworks, and we end up in what we are, as we see in this picture. First and foremost, so common themes. CMMI provides a framework for implementing and measuring improvements. It says which are the processes which are doing well, which are the processes which are not doing well. So that is a good input to ITIL. While ITIL provides a cohesive set of best practices drawn from both public and private sectors. So the complexity of services today demands an integrated view of how organizations do business. So that becomes paramount that we integrate an ITIL CMMI and see the best of both the worlds. Going forward, the industry implementation, as we saw in the couple of slides back, it can be used for, this integrated approach can be used for industries like invoice management, help desk, call centers, procurement, finance agencies, facility management, IT operations, data security, data centers, whole lot of industry. Sorry. There are certain differences with respect to ITIL and CMMI, of course. ITIL, the scope of ITIL is only to services, whereas CMMI services can be used for any type of service, right from the lawn care to a library to training to consulting. Architecture of ITIL, it is 5 manuals. As I said, close to about 400 MB spread across 5 PDF files, an average of about 450 pages, the architecture. In terms of CMMI, it is generic goals with generic practices and process areas, so that's a well-set pedestal. Maturity model, you cannot benchmark ITIL because there is no maturity model as such, but CMMI starts with the process maturity framework. Institutionalization, that means the processes are across the organization, across the entire aspect of the organization. ITIL does not address institutionalization, whereas CMMI basically addresses institutionalization through generic goals and practices. Continual improvement is expected in terms of an improvement path in terms of ITIL. CMMI has a specific benchmark capability and maturity levels. So straight away you can improve your processes. Project management with respect to ITIL, it does address, but through reference to other sources like PRINCE2 and PMBOK body of knowledge. In terms of CMMI, there is an explicit process area which addresses, yeah?
Sharath, I'm sorry to interrupt. We are running out of time. It's almost 15 past 4 p.m. Yeah, we started late, and that's the reason why I didn't bother you around 4 o'clock. So if you could wrap up the session, then maybe I could probably send you some questions.
Yeah, 2 slides I can wrap up.
Sure. So will you be in a position to take at least
2 slides?
Okay. All right. Please carry on.
So I can do with about say 2 or 3 slides. So let me directly go into the integrations. There's no advantage. Okay, where do we start? How do we achieve quick wins? First and foremost, we need to get all our passionate people, send them to an ITIL training, focusing on service design and service delivery practices. Service design, service strategy practices rather. Rotate your staff into frontline operational roles so they get first-hand experiences. Send your frontline operational staff into business areas so that they better understand the business impact if the services are poor. Send your key IT service management staff to work in another departments where the IT service management is maintained, is effective and efficient. Then carry out a high-level assessment of your IT service management practice in order to find out or ascertain which are your most pain areas and those areas which will give you the greatest benefit if they are improved. This is very, very fundamental and very vital. Then find out the cost of ownership of each of these IT services. So this is a very, very effective way to get started in order to achieve quick wins. Then make ITIL as your base. Take the roles, policies, etc. from ITIL. Take process management process areas from CMMI services and other processes from ITIL. Project and work management process areas from CMMI services and even PMBOK and Prince 2. Next is adopt or implement the generic goals and practices for improvement and evaluation. Capability levels to measure your process capability or maturity levels to measure your organizational maturity. You can measure whether your processes are fully implemented, largely implemented, or partially implemented can be measured by adopting CMMI services. And are there presence of any direct, indirect artifacts or affirmations to understand your significant weaknesses? So the key questions and discussion points answered would be, with ITIL and CMMI services, you surely deliver value to your customers because the way you design your services, the service itself will be so, it will be full of value. That's what I meant. Integrating the strategy for services with business strategy and customer needs is a sure quick win. You measure, monitor, and optimize your IT services and your service provider performance. You manage your IT investments and budgets. You manage, mitigate your risks and knowledge. You enable adoption of a standard approach to service management across your organization. You change the organizational culture to support a higher level of achievement, which is through sustained success. You improve the interactions and relationships with